Okay, so we have begun the month of Kislev. So in the series that we have Sunday nights of the art of being human, so I wanted to do something which is really as a preparation for Hanukkah. And so for tonight's class, we're going to talk about gratitude. And gratitude as a Jewish value, as a human value, as a way to succeed in life. And so, first of all, why is it connected to Hanukkah? Because it says the Hanukkah is all about gratitude. It's all about hoda'ah. It says that after the miracle of Hanukkah, so v'kavu shmonat yemei Hanukkah elu lehodot u'le'aleh, that they established the 8 days of Hanukkah as days of gratitude. So it's literally like the essence of Hanukkah is to give gratitude. And so as a prep for Hanukkah, this is the season, so it's already time to focus on this. And the truth is that gratitude is not just a Hanukkah theme. The truth is that gratitude is a very Jewish theme. In fact, the word Jew actually comes from the word, it's from Hebrew Yehudi, and Yehudi is from Yehuda, and Yehuda is because Leah said, Hapam Oida es Hashem, that now I want to give thanks to Hashem. So the very name Jew, the very word for Yehudi, is hinting to this idea of a Jew. What is a Jew? A Jew is a person that gives thanks. Like the essence of our name, the essence of who we are, is that we are beings that give thanks. So I want to try to understand what is exactly the essence of this character trait, and why is it so critical? Why would we say that a Jew is a person who gives thanks, and a person is not grateful? So there's lacking something in his being Jewish. There's also a very interesting thing that not everybody knows this, but tefillah, prayer is actually a rabbinic mitzvah. Prayer is actually a mitzvah d'Rabbanan that the Torah doesn't prescribe that a person has to pray every day, that a person has to daven shachris or mincha or anything. There's only one thing. Also brachot, like before we eat, it's only from the rabbis. There's only one thing that the Torah says very clearly that you absolutely have to do, and that is Birkat HaMazon. No, the grace after meals, Birkat HaMazon. Birkat HaMazon after you eat. That's the one time that the Torah says very clearly that you'll eat and you'll be satisfied and you'll thank Hashem your God. That this is the one time that a Jew is obligated to talk to God is only after he eats. So what's special about after you eat? So because after you eat, so then you have to say thank you. Okay? That saying thank you is such a critical thing that is the one time that, like every other time, it's important. It's like I don't want to take away from the importance of saying brachot, of saying tefillah, of asking to say please. To say please is very important, but what's critical is to say thank you. Like after you receive something, after you're satisfied, after you appreciated something, so to say, Hashem, I appreciate the fact that I'm not hungry anymore. I appreciate the fact that you gave me sustenance. I appreciate the fact that I had good taste. I appreciate the fact that I'm not in need anymore. So that appreciation, that gratitude, so that is the one time that a person is obligated from the Torah to talk to Hashem. So this all points to the same thing, that this is a very critical thing, and it's not just another mitzvah. This is not just another character trait. That this is something essential to our existence. It's essential to the way that we experience life. And so I want to try to understand what this is. And in order to understand this, I wanted to look at the word of lehodot. And this is a beautiful, beautiful Torah. There's a beautiful teaching from Rav Hutner. Rav Hutner, Zechron Livracha, he was a Rosh Hashiva in America, and so he has a set of books called Pachad Yitzchak, and in one of his pieces on Hanukkah, so he says the following, that there's an interesting thing in the Hebrew language, that in Hebrew, so the word to give thanks, the word for gratitude is lehodot, but lehodot also has another meaning. And we use the same word for something which is seemingly unrelated, and that is to admit. To admit means is lahodot. That we say lahodot ba'ashma is like to admit your guilt, like to plead guilty, so to speak. So is also called lahodot. So he wants to understand what is the connection between to give thanks and to admit. And he says something which is very, very deep, and that is that truly, if a person wants to really, really give a true gratitude, so it requires that he's able to admit something. And that is to admit that he couldn't manage by himself. That if I say, I really could have, I didn't need what you did. It was completely unnecessary, but thanks anyway. That's not a real thanks. A true thanks is to have this understanding, to have this deep epiphany that I needed you. I needed you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be okay without you. That's what it means, lahadot. And so, a lot of times when we say, yeah, okay, thanks, whatever. We don't really want to feel grateful because there's something unpleasant about the fact that I couldn't have managed without you. It makes us feel needy, and we don't like to feel needy. And so really, what he says is that the opposite of to be a person with gratitude is to feel entitled. So an entitled person is a person that it's hard for him to say thank you. It's hard for him to appreciate, and because a person who's entitled, so he thinks that he deserves everything. So I think I can manage. I think that whatever people give me, they should give me because they should give me, and so because they should give me, so I don't owe you anything for giving me because you just gave me because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're here for. You're here to give me stuff, and what?
It's like the color.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a child to a parent.
Right. So a person that feels entitled, so they live their life feeling that I deserve to be treated well, I deserve to be given things just because, and this is really a very, very dangerous place to be. It's not so good for relationships. It's not so good for state of mind. It's not good for mental health. There's a very interesting Gemara. The Gemara says in Becharis, and there's also a connection to Chanukah. The Gemara says in Becharis that there was a conversation between the Sabbath de Be'atuna, that these non-Jewish Greek philosophers from Athens. Atuna is Hebrew for Athens. So the wise men of Athens. So they had a conversation with Rabbi Shua ben Chananya.
What is Hebrew for Athens?
Atuna. So it says that they met, that the wise men of Athens met up with one of the Tanaim, with Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, and they said to him, tell us a lie. It's a very fascinating Gemara. Tell us a lie. Okay, it's not clear exactly what they want. And so he said, I'll tell you a lie. That there was once a mule that gave birth to a baby, and the baby had a necklace around its neck when it was born. That it said around this necklace that there was like a document that on this necklace that it said that they owe my father $1,000. That was the lie. So shalom. So they asked him, but a mule can't give birth. A mule is I hope I'm saying it right. It's the right word. That a mule is a hybrid between a donkey and a horse. Yeah, and so a mule is actually sterile. They can't. So they said, but a mule can't give birth. So he said, yes, because you asked me for a lie. That's why. So so you have this thing that can't exist, and the thing that can't exist, it comes into the world, and it has a necklace that says that they owe me money. So I once heard many years ago, I was at a class from Moshe Shapiro, Zechon Levracha, and he understood from this Gemara that this is the biggest lie. They're asking, tell me the greatest lie of reality. Tell me the greatest lie of mankind. And his answer was that, you know what the greatest lie of mankind is? A person is born into this world with a feeling of entitlement. A person is born into this world feeling that the world owes me something. And this is actually what, like with children, like a baby is born and they're completely self-centered and they completely are convinced that everybody's here to serve me. Like we're talking about a couple of weeks ago, we talked about this theory forgot what it's called, individualism and that separation. Thank you. For the first 6 months of a baby's life, so he doesn't even realize that his parents are their own entity. That he thinks his parents are actually just him. And even after he realizes that he has parents, but of course his parents are there to serve him. Of course his parents are their entire. I remember when I had my first baby. So one of my mentors told me that now you're for the next. Until who knows when you're going to be a servant now. Now you have a new king. Now you have a new boss, and this baby is your boss because he doesn't know better. And until the kid gets rather mature, so they really think that the parents are here, that their entire existence is for the purpose of the children. And of course, a parent is there for their children, but it's still it's a very messed up. It's a very messed up mentality for a child to think that the entire existence of my parent is for me, right? And that is this lie that we're born into, which is the opposite of gratitude, which is a mentality of entitlement. So what is the issues with people that have entitlement, and how is Hodah going to be how is gratitude going to be the way to heal ourselves from this? So the most basic trait of a person that feels entitlement is he feels that I deserve everything, that magiali, I deserve that people should be there for me. I deserve that people should treat me well. I deserve that people should be helping me. And I deserve that I should get my way. I deserve that I should that people should always be at my service. That's really the basic mentality of a person with entitlement. And so, of course, a person who's entitled, so they like to make demands of people around them. They don't know how to ask. They don't know how to ask because it's clear to them that they're the center of the universe. So if something is not to their liking, so then they'll tell people that's not the way it's supposed to be. Change this, turn off the light, change the air conditioner, and so there's a certain feeling that the world is here, the world is here for me, and so there's a certain tone of voice that they use, a certain of condescending, the way they speak to especially people that the truth is that they speak this way to everybody, but especially when it comes to people that are there, that are servers. When I don't remember why we spoke about this recently about the how to speak to people that their job is to serve you. People that their job is a waiter or waitress, a cashier, or a person who's who's showing you an apartment, a person who's they're there for you, right? But just because they're there for you, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve respect. Just because a person who's entitled thinks that why should I be nice to you? You're working for me. Right? Which is the lie of reality, that a person is born into this reality with this assumption that the world is here for me. So certainly a person that it says on his side, it says on his position that he's here for me. So that of course I'm going to take advantage of the fact that he's here for me. Of course I don't need to show him respect. I don't need to be appreciative. I don't need to be considerate. And this is part of this sickness, this illness of entitlement, and of course, a person that feels entitlement, so they're going to get upset when things don't go their way, because things should go my way because I'm the center of the universe, and so when things don't go my way, so it's easy for me to get angry, and if things. Whenever things don't come my way, so besides getting angry, I feel like I was cheated. I feel like something, there's something wrong with the person that didn't give me the way that I wanted it to be. People with that feel entitled, so they often talk about, I'm going to sue you. I know this is not okay. You can't get away with this. You're not gonna. And they're.
What?
They're.
What happens if the individual that is actually doing up to par what it is that somebody needs them and wants them to do?
I'm sorry?
what happens if that individual is doing what the other person on the other end entails them to do,
Yeah?
and the person that supposedly is entitled is trying to make it happen, it doesn't work
Is
out.
trying to?
Make what that other person wants them to do. But they cannot produce what they want them to do because they're not communicating. So who's entitled?
I'm not sure I understand.
Multiple entitled people. When one person asks another person, how does it work?
I don't know. I mean, I was talking about the media in general. This is you're right. We have two entitled people, so then that's going to be a big problem. Yeah, they should work on themselves before they get married. So now there's another two interesting things that I noted about entitled people. Number one is that they don't like asking for help. They don't like asking for help, and this is something that we've spoken about before. That it says the Shlomo Melech writes that the Yetzer Hara, so he's referred to as a king. The evil inclination is referred to as a king, as opposed to the Yetzer Tov is referred to as a miskin, as a pauper. It's a person who's needy, and so Rabbi Nachman explains that a person who feels like a king, that means like I don't need anybody. I'm in control. I've got this. I'm okay. I'm okay. And as opposed to a person, it's a very toxic way to carry yourself. Like, I don't need any help. I'm in control. I've got this. And as opposed to the Yetzer Tov, so the good inclination, so that's with an attitude of gratitude. That's an attitude of lahodot, that I admit that I can't manage myself, right? So this is a very it's a very interesting phenomenon that the people who are full of themselves, so they have trouble asking for help. They say that so I was going to say that, like, to a certain extent, they talk about the difference between guys and girls. That there's this stereotype that guys don't like to ask for directions. Okay, this was before they had before they had Google Maps and Waze. Right? What?
I'll walk like an hour in the wrong direction.
Okay.
Before you
But like when I was growing up, there was like the stereotype that women know how to ask for directions. Like men say like, oh, I've got this, and so you should ask ChatGPT how to work your Google Maps and
IKEA furniture.
What?
IKEA furniture.
IKEA furniture.
You won't look at the directions.
Okay, right, absolutely. So there's this tendency the people that are more have a higher ego, so it's hard for them to ask for help. Like, it's really hard for them to ask for help, and
does it manifest as like this thing of entitlement nowadays, where like everybody uses the word empowerment is the word.
Mm-hmm. It's a false feeling of empowerment. It's a feeling that to ask for help is an expression of a certain vulnerability, and that vulnerability to the entitled person is looked at as a weakness. And the Torah is saying that no, that's mamash the Yetzer Hara. That's mamash the evil inclination that wants you to feel like you don't need help, and that's the opposite of a healthy way to exist.
So at least in my mind, I can think of like 4 people who I know act like this, okay? But in my other mind, it's like, in what sense do I act like this myself? Because I can think of others who act like this, but in what sense do I myself act like this, and how does that manifest, at least in a smaller sense of myself, and how do I change
So
it?
kudos to you, because a lot of people would have stopped at the first thought and say that I'm gonna forward this class to my 4 best friends and tell them that oh my gosh, my rabbi was mamash talking about you, and kudos that you continued to your next thought. That maybe this is because it's all of us, because like what Rabbi Shua ben Chananya said, that this is the greatest lie of the universe, because we are all poisoned by this, and that it's a very basic problem, that the problem of the ego and problem of the not to want to feel vulnerable, and And so, like I remember, like I was meeting with somebody at like on Nissenbacher Street here in Nachlaot, and like there was this girl walking with like 15 bags, and like she was not managing, and so I said, could I help you? And she said, no, I'm fine, and like hello, everyone sees you're not fine. Like you're not fooling anybody, but but to accept help was like beneath her dignity, because like to accept help was some admission that I need help, and God forbid that I should need help, because that means that I'm a nobody, and that is the Yetzer Hara of feeling that I'm the center, I'm the melech, and then because I'm the melech, so everyone is here for, and even I'm trying to help you, but because it's clear from the situation that if I would help you, you would need to thank me. And you hate thanking people because what?
It's like Sisyphus. It's a journey that you can never complete on your own.
Mamash. It's a great guy. Yeah, it's a kind of guy. I don't think he wasn't a human being, right? He was a god.
They kept on pushing the wrong button.
He was a Greek god. Greek, one of those people. Yeah.
Is it the same if the reason you don't ask for help is because you don't want to feel like you're bothering people? Is that the same thing?
I think that's a different thing, but I think there's certainly also this element of that I don't want to have to say thank you. Right?
I once was helping a French couple change a tire.
Never help their friends. They won't help you with directions.
I helped them to change the tire. They never said thank you. I was on the ground.
I always make fun of, like, there's an American expression, like if somebody asks you, you're American, right? Yeah. So if somebody asks you if you would like orange juice, and you don't want orange juice, so what's the response? Well, how do you say you don't want?
No, thank you. I prefer water.
So no, thank you. That's old-fashioned.
I'm okay.
Okay. Now, because thank you. Okay. The younger generation says I'm good. Says I'm good. Right? We don't say no, thank you anymore. We say I'm good. I'm okay. So what's the pshat? When you're saying I'm good, so what are you saying?
Entitlement.
You're saying that like, how dare did I look thirsty to you? Do I look needy to you? Why on earth would you offer me orange juice? Like there's something like you're very off that you're offering me orange juice because I'm good. How dare you think that I'm not good? How dare you think that I'm not okay? Right? And then so the sentiment of I'm good is actually saying that like it's not that no thank you. No thank you is that I'm appreciating the fact that you're offering me, and I think the correct punctuation is no, comma, thank you for the offer, right? Right? No, but I'm saying like no thank you is gratitude. No thank you is actually a gratitude, and whereas I'm good is that you're messed up, and certainly I'm not giving you gratitude. Right? It's this mentality of I'm good really comes from places of that I don't feel comfortable expressing gratitude, because to express gratitude would imply that I need you, that I looked thirsty, and I don't want to have to appreciate you, because that's a weakness.
You know, a year ago I started saying that I have to be more accepting when people offer me like, oh, you want something to eat or you want something to drink. I started, but I always had the mindset that like we're born with it. We deserve nothing, and everything we get is a gift.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just better than I was.
So this is this is the first thing of not the first thing. I think it's the third thing we're talking about is that it's hard for them to ask for help. It's hard for them to ask for help because a person who is entitled, so they look at the appreciation as gratitude as a weakness. So because they don't want to appreciate anybody, so then they're never going to ask for help, because then if somebody would help them, then they would need to have gratitude.
I mean, there's people who give tzedakah because they feel like they need to, and there's people who give tzedakah selflessly.
There's people who give tzedakah when they shouldn't, and there's people who can't ask for tzedakah when they need it.
That's also true.
How does tzedakah work in this situation?
The same person who won't
I
ask for
will
tzedakah
gladly
will give it.
Like give, if I have coins, I'll give coins. If I have cash, if I have lots of cash, I'll give cash. But if I have coins, I give coins. But I think I do that selflessly. And I remember I was at a Shabbat dinner and someone recently said, I don't do that. Why would you do that?
Oh, everybody should. Everybody should certainly be very generous. Of course, we should help people. We're here. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. Sorry, we're totally. We're totally. What?
Being helped, allowing
Thank
yourself
you.
to be
We're certainly here to help each other, and part of the appreciation of gratitude is that it's healthy that we're here to help each other, and like there's nothing, and it's good to be the giver, it's good to be the receiver, and we're talking about now being the receiver. Like we're talking about, so some people are too proud to take. And that is actually a deception. That is actually a lie. That's actually it's from this perception of entitlement actually that I don't want to feel that I owe somebody a gratitude. Yeah.
I always have said I always have like thing. I always like think about like the giving tzedakah to people like. There are some who use the tzedakah for bad things.
Right,
drugs,
for sure.
And also, you're not helping them, and others are lying and making millions.
Absolutely. We should give tzedakah to people who really need. And if you're not sure, if you're not sure if they need, so then you should be cautious. That's why I always say to give tzedakah through organizations. Like the big, like you can give a shekel here. Like when you should always give somebody a shekel but like to give the big bucks, you should give the big bucks through organizations that do their homework, that verify that this is a real case, that this is not a con artist, that this is a person that's actually needs the money for real things. Anyway. So, and another thing that goes together with this is that together with not asking for help is also that they have issues receiving compliments. Okay, a person. Why is it hard for some people to receive compliments? Because if I like, and what do they do? The person that feels entitled when you give them a compliment, so they'll either deny it. They'll either say no, it's not true. This is like I hate this shirt. This is a really gross shirt. And like they say, how you did a great job. No, I did this. I messed up. This is like one of the worst speeches I ever gave. And like there's people that they will deflect your compliment. They will deflect your compliment, or they'll just like roll their eyes, which is even worse, right? That they'll just like oh, look who thinks that I did a good job, like as if it makes a difference that you think I did a good job, like as if I need your compliment. And so this is, and where's it coming from? It's coming from an understanding that if a person gives you a compliment, then they gave you something. It's like a compliment is also a form of help. Because we need compliments for our sense of value. When people tell me they're like, that was a great class, so I love it. It gives. I love compliments. I'm very honest about this. And everybody. I mean, anybody who's not lying to themselves love compliments. We're humans love compliments. That's why we should always be complimenting each other, because everyone loves compliments. I think girls are better at this than guys. I think girls are always complimenting themselves. Like I hear them. Oh, that's such a nice blouse. Oh, you look so great. And like guys, it's not such a thing to compliment each other. So we should.
It's a form of nurturing.
Yeah. We should learn from the girls of the world, and so there's mamish a thing that it's hard for people to receive a compliment because deep down, if you're honest with yourself, then somebody gave you a compliment, then you owe them. They gave you something, and now you owe them. Maybe you should give them a compliment back. I love your blouse too. They gave you something, so you owe them back. Right? So there's this feeling that I don't like this feeling of owing somebody. I don't like this feeling of owing somebody, and that it's a very, very messed up. It's a very messed up feeling. Also this kind of people, like in the same respect, that they don't like taking presents, so they insist on paying. You ever met these people?
Yeah.
They're like you do something for them as a kindness, and they say, well, let me pay you. I said, no, I don't want you to pay me. I did it. No, I insist. What?
You have to take it.
You have to take what? No, I'm not talking about whether you have to take it or not. I'm saying that they have a problem. The reason why they insist on paying is because they refuse to say thank you.
And they'll also never do it. They'll never do it vice versa either.
Sometimes it's also just being kind. When they say they insist to pay.
Sometimes to take from somebody is actually giving them, because they want to feel like you need them. They want to feel like they have some meaning. They have some meaning in this world, and like for you to say no, I'm just gonna. It's like. Anyway,
They're not the kind of people who who would do that in a different situation if they're offering you money for something that they think is
I
paid
can't
service.
count how many times I've done things for you and they try to pay me and like I was like no, you take it because it makes them feel it's for them.
That's an interesting, but that's a problem that they have. That's a problem that they have. I don't know what exactly what to do in the situation.
For the sake of reward, but if a reward is handed, you should smack it away from the person who's trying.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I think it's situational. But what I'm saying is that don't be that guy.
What, that takes a reward?
No, that don't be the guy that insists on paying. Like that is a character flaw. To insist on paying is a character flaw because the reason why they're paying is because they don't want to say thank you. What? Is what?
There's something else much bigger here. I think that leads to this. It kind of maybe starts off from this world, like a sense of creating it's like a self-sustaining isolation where it has to keep up. You can't break that sense of isolation, so it's self-sustaining at this point. It may start off from the sense of entitlement, like the entry dream, but at some point you have to maintain it because you're so isolated. It's terrifying to break it. So it's just kind of like a self.
Wow, that's mamish. It's intense. Yeah.
Wait, can you say that once more? A little longer?
I don't know if I can.
I'll take what I got.
I mean, if you continue giving money, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're never going to change itself. Is that what you're saying?
So I think that it's actually very interesting that there was, the Galileo discovered. Anybody remember?
The world is falls around the sun, or
Yes. Yeah, Galileo discovered that the Earth is actually not the center of the universe. So the church was very upset because they didn't actually burn him. No, they forced him to renege. They forced him to make a public apology that I made a mistake, that I was just kidding. Really, the sun is the middle. That really the Earth is the middle, and I was just kidding with my discovery that the Earth is in the middle. And if he wouldn't have reneged, then they would have burned him at the stake. And so I once saw a very interesting thing that. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah. It doesn't say anywhere in the Tanakh. It doesn't say anywhere in their sources about the Earth being in the center. So why was it such a religious? Like it was the church that was so adamant about it. What did they say? What did they think about this? That is such a critical thing. So I once saw a very beautiful thing that anybody who's religious, anybody who believes that Hashem created the world, so they understand that mankind is the center of reality. That Hashem created the entire world for us, right? Because we are those beings that it's our mission to bring divinity into every element of existence. It's our mission to make good decisions, that good should prevail over evil, and everything else is like the background. Really, it's everything of creation is all about good versus evil, and that's only mankind that is involved in this battle of good versus evil. So everything else is really just not the point. Like all of the other universes and all of the galaxies, and we're actually the essence because we have the ability to bring good and get rid of evil. So if that's the case, then it makes sense that the essence should be in the middle. And so to him, to the church, to say that the sun is the middle is saying that we're not the point. We're not the point. So then I thought to myself, I think that makes sense. I'm not a historian, but I think that makes sense that that's what the church was thinking. And so then I was thinking, so Takawat. So what was Hashem thinking? Like they're right. Like we know that mankind is the purpose of creation. So they're right. Well, it would make sense that man should be in the middle. The earth should be in the middle. So I was thinking that what was Hashem actually thinking? Hashem actually made that the sun is the middle because we need to know that we're not the center of reality. Hashem Mamish wants to hit this point home that you need to know that you're revolving around something else. But you need to know that you're not the end all and be all of everything. And so this is Mamish. So this is why that a critical part of being a Jew, like Yehudi. Like the Yehudi is about lahodot, because the essence of being a Jew is to realize that it's not all about me. I'm able to escape this lie, the greatest lie of creation, that to come into this world thinking that somebody owes me something, and to know that nobody owes me anything, and so like there's no reason why I should get my way, and there's another billions and trillions of people in the world that they also have needs and they also have rights, and like I'm just one little piece in this huge puzzle, and so like it doesn't always need to go my way. Life is not fair. Life is certainly not revolving around me. So this is like mamash a basic part of this mentality of gratitude is mamash a basic part of being a Jew. So what can a person do? What can a person do if they feel themselves stuck? If they feel that they were being attacked during this class? So a good thing to do. First of all, just making lists. For a person to sit down with themselves and for once a week, once a day, and just write down 3 things, 10 things, 100 things that they're grateful for. Like just focusing and to ask themselves, what do I have that I'm grateful for? So it's a very, very therapeutic thing. And the reason why it's so therapeutic is it's like this is tested, this is verified clinically that the person that spends time on gratitude, so it improves their mental health, and the reason is very simple, because the more that you're thinking about your gratitude, so you're focusing on what you have. You're focusing on what you have, as opposed to when you're in this entitled state of mind, so you're focusing on what you're lacking. Okay, so the more that you focus on what you have, so you're happy. The more you focus on what you're lacking, so you're sad. So you're upset. So of course, you're going to be in better state of mind. You're going to be in better state of mind the more that you focus on what you have. So certainly gratitude. Certainly gratitude is good in terms of just your general mood and your general state of mind. Now the truth is that it's even deeper than that, because the more that you realize that there's a God, the more that you realize that we are functions of a creator, so then of course the world doesn't revolve around me. So of course I'm not I was once speaking to this student that she was telling me that like the important part of her day is that she meditates 10 minutes every day about gratitude, and she makes a list, and it's a part of her morning routine is 10 minutes of gratitude. And so I asked her that, did you ever think to yourself, to whom am I grateful? And that was like mind-boggling to her. That was like, wow. I never thought about that. I just thought about I'm grateful, but I never thought about the fact that if I'm grateful, I must be grateful to someone. That's what it means, gratitude. It means that someone gave me this, and I need to feel gratitude to them. So it's actually logically impossible to have gratitude that on a bigger scale without recognizing that my gratitude is directed to God. So this gratitude as a state of mind really brings us to connecting with God and connecting to the blessings that Hashem is constantly showering upon us, which in turn makes us even more happy, because then once you realize how much Hashem is giving you, then it's a whole different level of enjoying life. And so this is why that Rabbi Nachman writes something very, very beautiful. This is Rabbi Nachman has a piece about Hanukkah that he talks about Hodah. It's in Tinyana Perek Bet. It's the second chapter of the second volume, and so he talks about Hodah as connecting to Hanukkah, and he writes as follows: that there's a teaching from the Arizal, that the Arizal says that there's based on the Perek in Tehillim, it says Mizmor LaTodah Habiu L'Hashem Kol Haaretz. Okay, it's Mizmor LaTodah Perek Kuf Aleph. It's a very beautiful chapter in Tehillim of Mizmor LaTodah, of thanking Hashem. Mizmor LaTodah, this is like a chapter of thanks. And the next words are Haviu L'Hashem Kol Haaretz. What does it mean, Haviu L'Hashem Kol Haaretz? That the entire world should be shouting out the praises of Hashem. So the Arizal notes that Haviu L'Hashem Kol Haaretz spells out halacha. Okay, the Arizal says that Havol Hashem b'Hadras Kodesh spells out Kabbalah. So that's why on Shabbos we say Mizmor David, Havol Hashem B'nai Elam, over there says that Havol Hashem B'Hatras Kodesh, that's Kabbalah, and during the week is Mizmor Seder, is Halacha. So Rabbi Nachman says, that what does it mean? What's the connection between Todah and Halacha? Right? What's the connection between giving thanks and Halacha? So he says Halacha is about understanding. Like the person that knows a lot of Halacha, it means that they understand about life. They understand about how to live life. So Rabbi Nachman says that the more that you understand about life, the more that you're grateful. Meaning that a person is living a lie, a person that doesn't understand about life, they can think this ridiculous thing that entitlement, but the more that you understand about life, the more you understand that you're just like this tiny, tiny pixel, that you're nothing, that nobody owes you anything, that you would be better off serving everybody else because you, right? That you're mamish, that nobody owes you anything, and you're mamish here for the world. The world is not here for you. That you're revolving around the sun. You're revolving around everybody else. It's not the opposite. So that's why that the more understanding we have, the more the person understands about life, so then the more they're going to come naturally to the state to the state of gratitude. So I want to finish off with two stories. One is an older story, and one is a newer story. The older story happened about 300 years ago, and this is a story that the Rizhiner, Zechron Livracha, so he would say whenever a student would come to be his chassid, so he would tell him that before you become a chassid, so I need to tell you a story. And this was the story that this was the entrance test that you need before you become a chassid. This is something you need to internalize. And the story was a story about Reb Zusha. Okay, the story goes like this: Reb Zusha from Nepali, the brother of Rabbi Melech Menezhensky. So the story goes that in a Nepali, so there was a guy that he was making a wedding, and so there was a rabbi. The rabbi in Nepali that he was a Torah scholar, and he learned a lot of Torah, and he knew a lot of halacha, and he was the guy answering questions, and he was a leader of sorts, and it was he was a little bit into himself. He thought that he was a person of authority, and he was a community leader, and so this guy said, this guy is making a wedding, and he comes over to the Rav to invite him to the wedding, and he says, Holy Rabbi, I would like to invite you to the wedding, and so he notices, so he looks on the list, and he says, what? I'm only the third person on your list? How dare you? I was not the first person on your list. I'm so offended. So he doesn't say anything because that's beneath his dignity to tell him that he's offended. But he thinks to himself, I'll show him. I'll show him. He thinks that I don't deserve respect to be the first person on his list. I'll show him. I'll come late. I'll come late to the wedding. So he was supposed to. So the rabbi, as the rabbi of the community, he was supposed to officiate at the wedding, right? So he figures like I'll show late. I'll come late. Then everybody's gonna have to wait for me, and then I'll have my grand entrance, and it'll be like, and that's his in his small-mindedness. That's how he feels he's gonna take revenge on this this poor guy in this community. So then he goes to Reb Zusha, and he says, Reb Zusha, I want to invite you to my wedding. My daughter's getting married. I want to invite you to the wedding. And he says, oh my gosh, really? I didn't know there were I never expected to be invited. I love you so much. It's so much greatest honor, And he thinks to himself, if you think so much of me that you want to invite me to your wedding, so I'm going to show you that I'm also your friend. I'm going to come early to the wedding. I'm going to help you set up, and I'll be there for. I'll be your best man. And so B'Shusha comes up, and then he's like making a good environment and making everybody happy, and he's telling jokes, and they're waiting, and the Rav of the city he doesn't show up, and so after half an hour of waiting, 45 minutes, so they said, I don't know what's the rabbi, B'Shusha, would you do us the honor of doing the wedding? So he says, of course, you're my best friend. Of course, I'll do anything for you. So B'Shusha, so he does the wedding, and he does, of course, the most amazing kiddushin in the world, and the most amazing chuppah, and And so then they have their meal and they have the music and dancing and like so after 2 hours, so then the Rav finally shows up, and so he was expecting them to wait and so the father of the bride, so he says, "Oh, Holy Rabbi, I'm so sorry, I thought you weren't coming." So he missed his honor of doing the wedding, and everybody's already sitting at the table. So but he wants to sit him at the dais. So he makes like a second row. It's there's no room at the dais. So he puts it a little bit behind, so he's almost at the dais. But the thing is that because he's behind the dais, so none of the waiters they don't notice him at all. So and he's beneath his dignity to call over a waiter. So he's she's sitting there just going crazy, and so at some point deep into the wedding, so after 2 hours of dying, so the father of the bride, so he notices the Rav that he's sitting there with a red face, being angry at everybody, and he says, "Oh, Holy Rav, oh my gosh, so they forgot to give you, here, let me get you something." And so he goes to the kitchen to get some food, but there's really no food left, so he gives her half a portion of beans and half a portion of this and this other, but there's nothing left. And he gives back the potato portion and doesn't give him more angry, and so he's he goes home, so a couple of days later, he sees the B'Shusha, and he sees he's always happy, and he says the B'Shusha was a very poor man. He was a very poor man. He was a very sick man, and so he says B'Shusha, what's your secret? What's your secret? So he says, I'll tell you. Remember the wedding that was last week? So let me explain to you. You came, and you thought that you're sent to the world. You think that everybody deserves to serve you. And what happened? Well, look at you. You were angry at everybody. You didn't get anything, and you come home and you hate the chassan. You hate the kala. You certainly hate me, and you hate all the guests, and you hate Hashem. The truth is, you really hate Hashem. Me, I come, and I'm just full of love, and I love all the guests, and I love the chassan, I love the kala, and I love Hashem, and everything. You know the difference is, you think you deserve everything, and you get nothing, and I don't think I deserve anything, and I get everything. And this is mamish. This is mamish. The secret of being a chassid is to understand that I don't deserve anything. If I understand that I don't deserve anything, I'm actually going to get everything. If I go through life thinking that I deserve everything, so then I'm never going to get everything. So I'm always going to be angry. So a person who's entitled is going to live a life of anger and frustration, and the person that goes through life with an attitude of hoda'ah, of understanding that nobody owes me anything, so whatever I get is a present, whatever I get is awesome, so I'm always happy. I'm always happy. So this is the first story. And the last story I want to share is a more modern story. This happened a couple of years ago. I've shared this at Shabbos tables a couple of times. This story that I saw from Aviel Gal, and so there was a girl that she was coming to that she was in Israel. She was in Israel, and she was in seminary, and so she has a friend in America that had some project, and for their project she needed to get a picture of Har Zeistim, I think, of the Mountain of Olives, and so she asked her, could you please get me a picture? I need this picture for I don't know, I guess it was years ago. The story happened before there was internet available, and I need a picture. So she's not feeling well. But she says, it's a good friend, so I'll try. So she gets on the bus, and she goes to Shar Yafo, and she's waiting for a bus for Shar Yafo, but because she's sick, she's not really with it, so she doesn't realize that she gets on the wrong bus. And the bus that she gets on is a blue and white bus. A blue and white, so it's an Arab bus. Okay? And because she's sick, so she falls asleep. And then suddenly she wakes up, and she's in the middle of some Arab village. And she's in her daze, she gets off, and she looks around, and everything is in Arabic, and she's like scared for her life. She's scared for her life, and so she's looking around like, what do I do? And she's so of course like she tries to call the police, and her phone dies. Her phone dies. So she doesn't have a phone, and she's stuck in the middle of some Arab place in East Jerusalem, and she's looking like she's literally helpless, and so she needs to knock on some door, and she doesn't like, she's like, where's the door that looks like the least like a terrorist, and so she picks some random door, and she knocks, and this girl opens the door, and she looks at her, and there's this girl her age, and she says, "Chana!" and she gives her a big hug, and like she's fainting, like what in the world is going on? And she says, "Chana, I still have your letter." And like it takes her a moment to realize that what had happened, that 4 months earlier, before she was in Sam, so she went with her family to a trip to Israel. They're staying in the King David Hotel. And so as a project for herself, she decided that she wants to have an appreciation of every single person that helped her to make her trip so meaningful, that helped her in any way that made her trip more awesome. And so she wrote letters to every single person that she could think of, that was all the tour guides and all the bus drivers and all the staff at the hotel. And so on the very last day of the trip, so there was a new girl. So there was a new girl they were giving coffee at breakfast. And so she went over to her, and she asked her like what her name is and where she's from, what she does. She was telling her about her plans to go to college and whatever. And so she says, and they connected in a real way. And so she says, she says, I want you to visit me. I want you to come visit. I want you to come visit me. And she wrote a letter on the last day. She said hi, this is I wanted to thank you even though she was one of the staff at the hotel, but thank you for making my stay in Israel so amazing. And so she wrote thank you to this Arab girl that was working in the hotel, and now so she Hashem worked it out that of all the possible doors that she could possibly knock, so this one girl that's her friend, actually, and she says, I still have your letter. I still have the letter that you wrote me, when you were thanking me. And so she was sure that I forgot the reason why the streets were empty, because it was Ramadan, which is even more dangerous. And she says, here, come. So the girl was sure that she came to visit her. And she said, here, and so she played along. So here, come meet my family, and all her family were also workers at the hotel. It was a family they all brought her because so she knew all these Arabs that were celebrating Ramadan, and so she says, after they're visiting and they're talking and so she says how do I get a bus back? So she says, no, girl, there's no buses back. And so it's okay, I'll take you. So she takes her. So her uncle takes her in a car and taking her back. And when they get to the checkpoint, you see this Jewish girl, this Jewish seminary girl with this Arab guy, and she says, it's just are you okay? She says, yeah, we're friends. And it takes her home, and lives happily ever after. And so the moral story is that this whole miracle, obviously Hashem also has a large share in this miracle, but it all started from this simple thought that I want to give gratitude to everybody that really enhanced my life. And so I'm not saying that the reason why we should give gratitude to everybody that enhances life is really because it's the best way, it's the best thing for our general state of mind. It's going to make us into happy people. It's going to make us into people that have awesome relationships. It's going to mamish enhance all of our relationships. It's like people are going to want to be around us. It's going to make us into nicer people, into better people, into more pleasant people. And it certainly is going to enhance our relationship with Hashem, because once a person adapts this attitude, and they're going to realize that Hashem doesn't owe me anything. I don't have to be angry at Hashem anymore. I can just be appreciative. I can connect with Hashem through this gratitude, and through this change in our mentality. So this will mamish make us into better people, into people closer to Hashem. And you never know. It's also, the more that you bring Hashem into your life, the more that you bring gratitude into your life, so it's actually going to change everything for the better in every way possible. B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, l'chaim.